What's up YouTube, Kristo here, and I've got another underrated gem for summer for you. This time a women's fragrance, or a fragrance that is generally marketed towards women. Serge Lutens Datura Noir. Serge Lutens is quite a famous brand for being innovative, being very unorthodox in terms of compositions, and they have a reputation for using floral fragrances in just absolutely ridiculous, out of this world concoctions. Fragrances like Tuberose Criminelle and A la Nuit are two of the most outrageous yet amazing floral fragrances I have ever smelled. This one, maybe not quite as bold or as daring as those, but it definitely follows suit. It's basically a tropical, white floral, kind of suntanny lotion fragrance. The notes that I get from this, I definitely get like a meaty white floral note. I can't specifically say it's Datura. I've never smelled the Datura flower, and I'll kind of address Datura notes in a couple minutes, but yeah, definitely a very strong white floral presence. And then I definitely get the kind of coconutty, suntan lotion kind of feeling, and then I get in the dry down some kind of soft white musks and some more generic sweet notes, presumably vanilla and or some tonka. Now, before I get into what this reminds me of, the Serge Lutens website itself actually has a really great description of it. They describe it as, quote, like a diabolic trail of smoke left by Satan in paradise. And as great as that imagery is, it's a little bit beyond me. I can't really say I get anything that kind of, good versus evil, or, sinister yet wholesome kind of thing. To me, this is definitely, I agree with the masses that this is definitely a suntan lotion, like a beachy suntanny lotion scent. But what maybe separates it from other things in the genre are that this is just so much more raw and primal and primitive smelling. So instead of, sitting on a beach in the Caribbean, this is more like sitting on an uninhabited beach off the coast of Africa or Southeast Asia, where there's just primordial tropical forests and coconuts everywhere, and there's no humans, there's just wild birds and different reptiles and things like that. It's just like so much more raw, animalic, not necessarily animalic smelling, but animalic in a just more raw, pure sense. I am a big fan of kind of suntan lotion based fragrances. Fire Island, Virgin Island Water, I think are both exceptional, and they're from pretty mainstream fragrance houses. I'm not saying that Serge Lutens isn't mainstream, it's pretty easily accessible, which again, I'll refer to a little bit later. But yeah, I just think this is, compared to those other more mainstream suntan lotion fragrances, this is just totally different and does something so much more unique, but at the same time still having a lot of those same characteristics. So performance on this one is good. Serge Lutens are in this size bottle with the white label, as you hopefully can see. These are standard EDPs. The ones with the black labels now, those are actually EDP how concentrates, so they're actually even stronger. So these, I have no problems with any Serge Lutens fragrances from any range. Even the EDTs in the low series, I get phenomenal performance out of. I'd say easily 8 hours. Projection on this is pretty ample. If I just do 2 or 3 sprays, it projects on me for several hours. So yeah, definitely something that Serge Lutens are quite famous for doing. Great projection, great longevity, no qualms there whatsoever. Season, yeah, of course, summer, but I definitely think of this as being like a tropical islands, paradise beach fragrance. Definitely something I would take when I was going on a cruise or going on holiday to the islands or something. And I used to live in Indonesia, so I know all about, you know, tropical uninhabited islands and stuff. And I definitely wore this a few times when I was going on holiday. Gender for this one, definitely this does lean feminine. Serge Lutens, I don't think they officially market anything male or female, but this one is definitely something that is pushed more for female audiences, especially online or when you go into boutiques that carry Serge Lutens, just because of the heavy white floral dominant note, as well as, you know, the supporting coconut, sweet notes, vanilla, tonka, whatever they need. But definitely this is feminine leaning, but if you're a fella that is into white florals or suntan lotion fragrances, this is definitely something that you should check out. Now, for this one, for prices, they range quite a lot compared from retail to discount. Even retail price, honestly, for Serge Lutens are very reasonable. These come in a standard 50 ml bottle, obviously like this right here. Retail, you're looking about $140. I think it's pretty much about the same. Maybe it's about $130 in the United States for the white label bottles. The black label bottles are generally about $10 more, but still $3 a ml at 50 ml size for this quality and this performance, I think, is exceptional. You can find them discounted quite easily in North America for about $100 or less. I've seen some Serge Lutens during sales go for as little as $50 to maybe $55. I can't specifically say I've seen this go for that cheap, but I'm quite sure if you're comfortable shopping gray market, you can probably get this for $90 or less if you look around. So very good pricing in my opinion as well. Now I want to talk a little bit about Datura flower because it's kind of interesting. I really enjoy white florals, but my white floral is much more mainstream, especially notes like jasmine, lily, you know, citrus white florals, orange blossom, things like that. I love white florals, but my taste is much more mainstream. So I can't say I'm overly familiar with Datura notes, but interestingly, every reputable website I've looked on online that lists notes for this, none of them actually list Datura flower. And the reason I believe that might be is because there probably is none in it. So they're probably giving you what Datura would or should smell like. Datura, if you're not familiar, again, is actually a toxic nocturnal white floral. It's also known as Devil's Trumpet. They're absolutely beautiful, magnificent looking flowers. And that's definitely where the analogy from Serge Lutens comes from, you know, devil in paradise and stuff like that. So it is like this really gorgeous, beautiful, luscious white floral, but it's actually very toxic. The petals, the flower, the seeds actually, you know, can poison people. So it's kind of interesting. I love as well how they're nocturnal. So it just adds that more kind of, you know, kind of unwholesome feeling. But still, to me, at the end of the day, this is definitely more of a kind of generic white floral suntan lotion fragrance. You know, it is just a name in there. And I should mention as well, what actually kind of led me to this, I ended up getting just completely by coincidence a sample of Keiko Mashera's Datura Blanche, which is just like this outrageously thick, supple, meaty, white floral fragrance with this like super creamy vanilla in it. And I'm not a big vanilla person, but it's beautiful, it's amazing. And that kind of drew me to this, just having the name Datura in it, and especially Datura Noir. And I pondered getting this for like literally years, and I finally blind bought it. And I ended up smelling it. I was like, wow, that is not at all what I was expecting. It smells nothing like the Datura Blanche. It's still great, but it just threw me so much. It kind of took me a couple days to kind of get over my preconceptions of what I thought it was going to smell like, which was kind of interesting. I don't have Datura Blanche. I would love to get it, but it's definitely a heavier, actually darker fragrance to me, despite being the Blanche version. I think it would be exceptional for wintertime, but you know, I don't have a bottle yet, so let's see. So for me, positives for this, I think it smells great. If you're into suntan lotions and want something a little bit different, suntan lotion kind of fragrances, I mean, this is definitely something worth checking out. If you're into white florals, if you're into coconut notes, definitely something worth checking out. It's easily accessible, even to, in my opinion, at retail under $3 per mil. I think it's a really good price at 50 mil. You can get them discounted very easily in most parts of North America, Western Europe. And it's not a particularly well-known fragrance from the Serge Lutens house. Cher Gui is basically, you know, the big thing in the fragrance community. And when you go into you know, Sephora, where they carry Serge Lutens, or most of the Serge Lutens, they really haven't pushed this on me, maybe because I'm a guy, I don't know, but definitely it's something that's not really big from the house. Negatives, if you're not into white florals, if you're not into suntan lotion-y fragrances, you're probably not going to like this. Still check it out, never know. A lot of guys aren't going to like it because it is definitely feminine, but again, check it out. Other than that, there's not really much I can say. Projection, longevity are really good. I think it smells unique. It's, you know, a pretty good fragrance. So overall, I really enjoy this. I think it's a really great, fun, unique, summery fragrance that definitely doesn't get talked about from, to be honest, quite an entry-level niche fragrance house. It's so accessible. It's quite cheap. It's easy to find. I think this is one of many underrated gems from the Serge Lutens house, but I think by far the best for summer that is readily accessible. So there you go. Datura Noir from Serge Lutens. Let me know what you think of it. Let us know some of your underrated gems for summer. Stick around for a couple more in the near future, and I'll see you again soon.